Hey there, Empowered Tribe. It's Angela T. Moore. You are getting ready to experience the next episode of Empowered, a health and wellness podcast where I share my personal journey of health and healing, tips for mental and physical health, interviews with health and wellness experts and those bold enough and vulnerable enough to share their own journeys to empower you to succeed in yours. We know that life can be rewarding. It can also be challenging. It has its ups and downs, highs and lows. I learned that with a strong mind and a fit body, you are better able to grow through and grow from whatever life throws your way. My goal is to share journeys of health and wellness, as well as tips and information from extraordinary people all around the world to help you live an empowered life. After managing the Solaray brand for nearly 20 years, my guest, Max Willis, has taken on the role of Chief Innovation and Science Officer, where he oversees new product development and education for the company. Max's passion for the natural products industry is exemplified by the more than 500 product launches he has overseen. He is on the Board of Trustees for the American Herbal Products Association and has traveled globally, educating on a variety of subjects related to the benefits of dietary supplements. In this episode, Max and I talk about the key role that natural dietary supplements can and should play in your life. As Max shares, food is not enough, and even with the consumption of healthy foods, dietary supplements are necessary for optimal health. Max dispels myths and misconceptions about food and supplements, and also provides his top 5 supplements that can be inexpensively added to your health and wellness routine. We are striving to not only provide you with information to increase your lifespan, but also improve your health span. I hope you enjoy the episode. So after managing the Solaray brand for nearly 20 years, you took over the role of Chief Innovation and Science Officer, where you oversee new product development and education for the company. What led you to the company, and why are you so passionate about the natural products industry?
Yeah, I was heading down the allopathic medical path. My father's a doctor, my mom's a pharmacist, my brother's a doctor. My Italian grandfather is actually the Surgeon General of Italy before he passed away. So I was raised in a house where medicine was discussed, but it wasn't as much about health. And for me to really live a healthy, integrative life, you have to understand nutrition and health, which is more of the preventative side. You know, how do we keep this car engine from burning out? Where allopathic medicine is more about, well, the engine's now damaged. How do we fix it? So I got into this side of the business out of pure passion. I'm a very inquisitive person, and I believe that medicine originates from herbs, from food, and not from pharmaceuticals.
You know, very interesting. It's so funny because as I shared with you prior to the interview today, I've interviewed a number of individuals on my radio show, and we talked about the fact that I believe, and I think historically has been the case, that we are a country based on reactive medicine, treating someone after they get sick, as opposed to preventing them from getting sick in the first place. And I do believe that that is a major problem because as we have learned over the years, and I'm sure that you've experienced it in your own personal life with individuals that you may know that have been sick, is that it's a lot easier to prevent something than it is to treat it after it's happened. And unfortunately, sometimes when you're treating an illness, a disease, it's because someone is on the road to death or on the road to some chronic issues that they're going to have to deal with for the rest of their lives or for a considerable amount of time. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's way too reactive. And the problem is our healthcare system is all based on, you know, insurance and what people can get for free or what they can afford. And a lot of people do have health insurance and they go to their doctors and they pay a small copay, but are they really getting the help they need? And doctors have zero training in nutrition, zero. And so where are they learning their information from? I mean, they learn how to identify disease and some basic functions of the body. But when it comes to guiding people on how to eat healthy and how to be preventative, there's no understanding there. And so you have to spend more money to see an integrative doctor or a naturopathic doctor because it's out of pocket. There's no insurance involved. than it is to see a traditional allopathic doctor. So that's the problem. There is no incentive financially.
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting. I know that what you just said about the fact that when you go to a regular doctor, it's covered by your insurance. Like you said, you may have a copay. I forgot about the fact that oftentimes you're right. If you go to an integrative professional, holistic specialist, you do have to pay out of pocket. That's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And the thing is, integrative doctors will spend about an hour with a patient or a client, where an allopathic doctor, my dad's one, he tells me, I saw 30 patients today, and they'll spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes with them. And there are some great doctors out there, and they do have an important role to play. But are they really addressing the core issue that the patient has? And are they answering the question, or are they just putting a Band-Aid on the problem? And I think the latter is more common.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Now, you are on the Board of Trustees for the American Herbal Products Association, and you've traveled globally educating a variety of subjects related to the benefits of dietary supplements. I understand the Solaray launched a Food is Not Enough campaign. What was the key message in that?
We were in downtown New York at Union Square, where there's a lovely food market. And we put up a food truck, Solaray did, and it said, food is not enough. And we captured people's attention. What do you mean food is not enough? Can I get enough of the daily nutritional support I need just from eating healthy food? And the truth is, according to the CDC numbers, despite our best efforts, the standard American diet still falls short. And we have a lot of nutritional deficiencies. So no matter how much healthy kale and bananas you eat, you're still not going to get enough magnesium and potassium in your diet. In fact, 98% of Americans are potassium deficient, which causes fatigue. And a lot of people are tired, and they may not know that they have a potassium deficiency. And it goes on and on with so many different nutrients. So it's important to be educated and know that, let's eat healthy, but despite our best dietary choices, food is still not going to be enough to get the optimal level of nutrition that we need to be healthy.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned that Solaray put out this food truck and basically said food is not enough. So were you there? Okay. So what was how did people receive that? So did they come up to the truck? Did they have questions? What happened?
Oh, yes. And we had our head of science advisory board there. We had a bunch of dietary experts that were there, and they were there to answer questions because people came with questions. And some people they had this aha moment, I had no idea. Here I am eating organic, healthy food, and I'm still not getting what I need. Tell me. So they wanted to be educated. We had a lot of different stations where we had games and just to educate people on where they fall short in this country on average. The aha moments. That's all we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, aha moments are usually very necessary for change, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. You think you're doing everything right, and all of a sudden you learn something new and you got to course correct. But the sooner you learn that, the better for your health. Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that you emphasize the importance, though, as you're not saying not to eat healthy, not to choose the healthier foods, but understanding that in addition to consumption of those healthier foods, there's some additional things that you're going to need to do to make sure that your health efforts are going to, I would say, give you the results that you want, the short and long-term results that you want.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at the back of any dietary supplement, there's something called the daily value or the recommended daily allowance. Mm-hmm. The U.S. Has established those numbers based on disease prevention. So, for example, with vitamin C, you only need 90 milligrams on a daily basis, which is about 1 orange worth of vitamin C, to prevent disease like scurvy and rickets. But you need a lot more than that if you're going to really support your immune system and produce healthy levels of collagen and really provide those antioxidant benefits. So we need to really educate and give those Americans their aha moments on, what am I doing? I eat my apple a day. Isn't that enough? The answer is no, it's not. And that's why we have dietary supplements to supplement what your diet is lacking in.
Okay. Now, as a NAS master trainer and fitness nutrition specialist, and I shared that with you prior to the interview today, and I will tell you, I've had many conversations with clients and other nutrition specialists about multivitamins, about supplements. Just breaking it down, simply, why is it important to consume multivitamins daily? And I do understand that you said that food is not enough and that we are lacking in things. But for someone who says, okay, I'm trying to eat healthy, you're telling me now I'm going to need to add some additional supplements to my diet. It may be expensive or whatever. What do you say to someone I guess answer that question, like, why is it so important to consume those multivitamins daily?
Yeah, well, first of all, about a third of Americans already consume a multivitamin daily. Okay, that means 2/3 are not. The reason why it's important is because the standard American diet, which stands for SAD, and we talk about this a lot, it's lacking. We've seen that immigrants that come to the U.S., the diversity of their gut microbiome, the bacteria that's in our gut, goes down by about 40%, which is drastic. The more diverse bacteria counts we have, the diversity of strains we have, the healthier we are, because those bacteria form vitamins and neurotransmitters and keep us healthy and happy. And we're a country of stressed out, depressed people, unfortunately. We're trying to do so much. We're so busy. We're raising families. We're working more than full-time jobs, sometimes 2 or 3 jobs. And it's having a toll on our health. And so it's so important to understand, okay, what is the best I can do for my body so I can stay up with the demands of my day? And we need core vitamins and minerals for our health, for bone formation, for neurotransmitter function, for immune health, for energy production, to keep our cells healthy and functioning properly. And there's so many reasons why. There was actually a study done called the Cosmos study. It's an ongoing study, and Harvard is part of it. They studied 21,000 men and women, and they just reported that the amount of age-related mental decline is slowed down when you take a daily multivitamin. So when you consider the cost of it, let's say that a 1 month supply of a good multivitamin will cost you around $30. That's $1 a day. Is $1 a day of an insurance policy on your health worth it? And I say absolutely, and you can get multivitamins for $10 to $30, but there's different quality ones. But it's important that people start taking them daily. Everybody, not just 1/3. We need the entire country on multis.
Most definitely. Now, what's really interesting is, and you kind of alluded to this, there have been some controversial studies on whether to take a multivitamin, and one reported that they don't help increase lifespan. You just basically countered that. Like you're basically saying it does increase your lifespan. It can help you live longer. It can help you be healthier. So what are your thoughts? Can you expand more as it relates to lifespan?
Yeah. I think as a country, ever since we've been at antibiotics in the 1930s, we've really increased our lifespan. And now most Americans are living to their late 70s. I think we can do better, but it's not just about how long we live. It's about how healthy we live. What's our health span? And are we drugged up, and are we foggy with our brains, and are we just kind of surviving, or are we really thriving? And I would submit to your audience that when you do the best for your health by avoiding pharmaceuticals, by eating healthy, sleeping, exercising regularly, and taking a good multivitamin, you will increase your health span. And you won't be that parent or grandparent sitting on the couch when the kids are playing, but you'll be out playing with the grandkids outside in the yard or on the floor. We need to have our energy. We need to have our mental clarity And I know from my own personal experience and going around and lecturing globally that when people take a good multivitamin, they absolutely increase their health span and they have more energy and more vitality on a daily basis.
I love that word, health span. That is, it's the first time I've heard that, actually, believe it or not. And I've been in the fitness and wellness industry for decades, and I've never heard it like that because, yeah, it's one thing to live longer. It's another thing to live healthier longer, and it may be great to live to say 83, 93, but if you're sick, if you're immobile, if you're not able to go outside with the grandkids, then yeah, the lifespan has increased, but your health span may not. And so I love that. Dr. Sophia Mariva, I interviewed her on my radio show years ago. She's a wonderful person that saved so many lives of women that have suffered from breast cancer. She's from the University of Michigan Rogo Breast Cancer Center. And we were talking about breast cancer and treatments that have been very effective in saving the lives of women with breast cancer. And one of the things that she was talking about just in general, she said, and really emphasized the importance of understanding that the moment you decide to be healthier, live healthier, be healthy, that it increases the likelihood that the life that you live moving forward is going to be better because you're going to be healthier. And that's better whether you have a disease or not. And so why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do whatever's necessary to be healthier and live healthier?
Yeah, it's all about optimum. Optimize your health, optimize your energy. Most people go into a health food store or go see their doctor because they have low energy. That's the number one complaint. Mm-hmm. And low energy can be a cause, especially in women, because they have low iron, they're borderline anemic, they're low in vitamin B12. They could have very low levels of potassium and they don't realize it. I'm eating my banana a day. Why do I have low potassium? Well, you need 10 bananas a day to hit the RDA of potassium. Who's eating 10 bananas? Nobody, right? It could be just because you're not getting enough sleep, or there's other cellular metabolic issues like low thyroid. Our thyroids are our metabolic engines, and when they're not functioning, and a lot of women are hypothyroid, low thyroid today. So there's many reasons why, and they want answers. And so much of it, if not all of it, can be addressed with nutrition, sleep, and taking that extra gap filler we call a multivitamin. So It's all about education.
Most definitely. Now, consumers in the natural products industry, they want all natural ingredients and vitamins from foods. What does Solaray use and why?
Yeah, so Solaray is a health food brand that can be found in thousands of health food stores around the country and in 85 other countries. In fact, today, I'm catching a flight to Barcelona, Spain to educate our distributor there, where we do lots and lots of business in Spain. Then I go to Croatia in a few days from there. And so Solaray is really rooted in nature because health is rooted in nature. Even if you look at pharmaceuticals, a drug is nothing more than a patented synthetic version of nature. Whether you look at aspirin, it's a natural version or a synthetic version of white willow. You can find those active principles that are in medication in nature. And so Solaray goes back to the root of nature, and we bring those health promoting properties to people in the form of a dietary supplement. And 50 years ago, we were founded on herbal medicine because herbs that grow out of the ground and powered by the sun, the solar rays, right? They are full of these active principles that are there to correct a health deficiency or prevent one. And so we are a very high quality USA made, based in Utah, dietary supplement line that you can find in great health food stores like Better Health in Michigan and Ohio. And we have about 1,000 different dietary supplements from herbs and vitamins and minerals and specialty ingredients that arm people with the tools that they need to either have more energy, live more optimally, as we've been talking, or address a specific concern. Perhaps before going to the doctor, what's your first line of defense? You just run to the doctor as soon as you don't feel well or have low energy or start to get a little sniffle? Or do you have a supplement cabinet instead of a drug cabinet to test things out? And so Solaray is there to fill your pantry with solutions that are not synthetic. Now, all vitamins are synthetically made, but they're nature identical. And that's what people need to understand, that we can make these vitamins in the lab, but they're identical. The finished product is the same as you would find in nature. So, the only thing that's really natural are some of the herbs that we sell and some of the minerals that come from the ground or from rocks, right? Or algae. But all the vitamins are USP, which stands for United States Pharmacopoeia. That's what regulates the manufacturing and testing of vitamins. They come from food sources. They're generally made through bacteria fermentation. So we can call that a synthetic process, but the finished product is full nature identical. So the same vitamin C that you get in a Solaray product is the same vitamin C as you would find in an orange or in a strawberry.
Okay. So so I understand the difference of Solaray. So other vitamins, other, say, pharmaceutical products. Can you expand on that a little bit more? What's the significant difference between Solaray type products and those other pharmaceutical type products?
Yeah, there are brands that are made from fully synthetic vitamins, like Centrum, for example. That's a very common multivitamin. You find it at CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, Walmart. And they're about $7 to $8 for a bottle of a multivitamin. And it contains USP vitamins, just like I explained. But generally, to keep the costs down so people can actually buy them for $7.99, you have to manufacture it for very, very low costs. And to do that, you use coal tar-derived vitamins and minerals and not sunflower or soybean-derived vitamins and minerals that are more natural. So you take vitamin E, for example. If you look at vitamin E in Centrum, it's DL-alpha tocopherol, which is the synthetic version that originates from coal tar. It is still vitamin E, but it's synthetically made and the finished product is synthetic. It makes it more stable, actually. So they maintain great shelf stability, but they're not natural or nature identical vitamins, which aren't as well absorbed, and the body doesn't react as well to those synthetic vitamins.
Okay. Well, explain. Thank you. So, one of the things that I would say are, and I just think that's with anything, once somebody has an aha moment and they make a decision that they want to start doing something differently in their life to be healthier, the process of doing that can be overwhelming. I find that people tend to do too much, or they give up because it's too difficult to maintain what they decided to do to an extreme level. Or they just don't try at all and they go the other direction. Like I say, in mental health, we want to be in the middle, not over this way, kind of in the middle. I do believe the same applies to health, that we want to give people the information that they need to make the decisions, but encouragement to take the steps, but also give them some, I think, realistic options so that they can start and not get overwhelmed and start a process that they're not going to complete. So with that being said, I know that there are so many supplements to choose from, and that someone that hears our conversation might want to start incorporating supplements into their daily routine. And I understand that you believe that there are 5 core supplements that you believe people should take daily. What are they, and why do you think people should take them daily?
Thank you for asking that question, because if somebody walks into a health food store like Better Health, they're going to see shelves and shelves of bottles, and they're going to probably be a little intimidated by that. So, but if they go into those health food stores, there are people that are ready to assist them. They're armed with information. And so when it comes to the core, let's put aside for a second whether somebody has a specific dietary need or health issue. Let's say they have high cholesterol. Okay. That's not everybody, but it is a lot of people, and there's a supplement just for those people. But when it comes to the core, if somebody walks into a health food store and they want to do, as you just said, align their health, not take drastic measures, they can't afford $1,000 worth of supplements every month, but they can afford $50 worth of supplements every month. That's $1.50 a day. Everybody can afford that. Okay. I would say that number one, look for a good multivitamin, such as the ones we have in Solaray. We have options that are 1 a days, and we have options that are 2 capsule a days that are liposomal multivitamins that are high absorption. But a good multivitamin is going to fill all those dietary gaps. That's your health insurance policy, let's say, when it comes to prevention. So a multivitamin is one. Number two, I talked about the diversity of our microbiome, or the bacteria in our body. We are bombarded with antibiotics, toxins, stress that affect processed foods that lower the diversity of our gut bacteria. So it's important to take a good probiotic every day. A probiotic is a supplement that's full of healthy bacteria that offsets or crowds out the bad bacteria that hijacks our bodies. Okay. Number three, for most people, because we eat cooked or processed foods, especially in this country, we need a digestive enzyme. And that's different than a probiotic. Enzymes help break down foods. For example, if you have a dairy intolerance, you can't break down the sugar in milk. That's called lactose. You need an enzyme called lactase. And then you don't have the reaction that lactose intolerant people have. So we need enzymes in our diet on a regular basis. I would say that in addition to that, most people are low in fiber and protein. So I would take a good protein and fiber supplement. Sometimes you can find them together, or sometimes they're separate. And then finally, in America, and this has been reported on famous shows like the Dr. Oz show, and it's been talked about for many, many years, our omega-3 to omega-6 ratio is off, meaning we have more levels of omega-6, which are pro-inflammatory, than levels of omega-3s. Omega-3s come from fish and healthy oils like olive oil and avocado, where omega-6s come from fried foods like French fries and potato chips and all those processed, delicious, bad foods that we crave, that our microbiome's craving, but that we know are not good for us. So we need to get an omega-3 fish oil supplement on a daily basis. Those would be my core 5. And then if you have a dietary concern, or maybe, like I said, you have a specific life stage need, whether you're a woman or a man, then we can build on top of that. And if you need prostate support for men, there's saw palmetto and pygeum and things that are healthy for your prostate. If you're a woman going through menopause or perimenopause and you're having night sweats or hot flashes or cramping or irregular periods, there's products that help balance hormones and help women. So we can add to those, but those are the 5: a multivitamin, a probiotic, a fish oil, a digestive enzyme, and protein fiber together.
I love that. That sounds so simple and easily understood. Yeah. So in the final couple minutes of today's show, I'd like to give you the opportunity. Any final thoughts for anyone that's going to listen to the interview?
I like what you said, Angela, about, we can't do things that are not sustainable for us. We live in a country of extremes. By 2030, it's been reported that more than half of Americans will be obese. Okay. We have a problem. We have an epidemic in this country of being unhealthy. But then for some people, as soon as that trigger hits, they're either going to wake up one day and look at themselves in the mirrors, or they're going to have a test done at a doctor's office and they're going to be scared. And then they make a drastic alteration in their life. Let's not wait for that moment. Let's stay ahead of it. If we're in an airplane and we're at 35,000 feet and that plane starts to go down suddenly, a pilot should make gradual adjustments. If you wait until you're almost at the ground and then you suddenly pull up, the wings will fall off the airplane. We don't want that in our lives. So let's decide today to make these health conscious choices. Assume the vertical. Let's walk. We don't have to do extreme exercises, but we do need to move. Let's decide that what we put in our bodies is, you can make a choice. It's either healthy or it's unhealthy. Is it going to give me energy and boost my microbiome and prevent disease? Because I have one other secret. All of us have cancer in us. It's just a matter of whether we're fueling it or keeping it dormant. So what are we putting in our bodies that's going to correct and keep us healthy? So let's go to a health food store like Better Health that's accessible to all folks in Michigan. There's 14 stores around the country, around the state, rather. And let's start getting educated and make simple, affordable, reasonable adjustments in our lives that help boost our vitality so we can live a more optimal life. And that's my message to everyone. There's simple solutions there. We just have to get off our rear ends and go and make it happen. No one else is going to do it for us.
Yeah, that's so true. I'll say this very quickly. That's the one thing that I can't remember who it was that I talked to. One of my guests, I think, was just talking about, like, no one can get healthy for you. Like, you literally have to decide, like, I can't run and exercise and then touch you and you reap the benefits. I can't eat, certain foods and then go, here you go. I can't hydrate for you. I can't take probiotics for you, digestive enzymes, protein, fiber, all those things that you mentioned. Like, you have to do it.
That's right. We want it easy, right? Everybody wants the magic pill or the quick solution. And you're a wonderful example of what people need to do, but they need to do it in a sustainable way for them. And so whether you're correcting excess weight or something, just start eliminating simple things and build on that. I just ran a half marathon the last weekend, and you don't just get up and go run a half marathon or a marathon. You have to train. You have to do every day or every other day, get out and sweat it out and get to the point where you can do these things. And I'm not saying you have to run a marathon for anybody listening, but I think it was Matthew McConaughey that said he breaks a sweat every day. It's important to get our heart rate up and to sweat it out. It's so good for our mood, our mind, our body, our lymphatic system. And then eat healthy, sleep healthy, get those 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And we have these wonderful tools at our disposal, these supplements. Whether we can't get to sleep at night, there's melatonin and there's other things out there. There's solutions. If we have low energy, there are solutions to get us there. Thank you.
Yeah. No, you're very welcome. And thank you so much for always telling my guests, thank you so much for your purpose and your passion. And thank you for sharing that with me today. And my hope is that people will hear this conversation and they will have many aha moments that will help motivate them to take action. And I think it's just so important to understand that you don't have to run a half marathon, but it would be nice if you could take maybe a 10-minute walk or a 5-minute walk if that's where you're starting. And just understand the minute you start taking those steps, that you are increasing the likelihood that you're going to have a better life. I often say what you decide today is going to decide the health of your tomorrow. And so that's what I want people to be mindful of. Like I said, you don't have to run a half marathon. You don't have to be an athlete. It's just be active, intentionally move, eat well, hydrate, start to integrate dietary supplements into your daily life if you're not doing so already. And just take good care of yourself. That's what I think is what we want to emphasize. And we want people to know we're all so important and significant in this world. And you're much better able to contribute your part to the world if you are your healthiest version of yourself.
I love that. What a wonderful message to end off on. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks for listening to Empower It with Angela T. Moore. Feel free to share this episode with someone you think would enjoy it. New episodes come out weekly. Follow our show on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening right now.